It's safe to say Argentina have let most people down so far in this World Cup. With a loss against Saudi Arabia, probably the biggest upset in World Cup history, and then an unconvincing win against Mexico. Here are 3 things that Argentina need to change to win this World Cup.
The first thing Argentina need to change is that center back pairing. Otamendi, Romero, Otamendi, and then Lisandro. I mean, they're just not consistently getting into a groove right now. I think that's going to punish them when they play a legitimate team. And I think this coach has to do something.
I mean, who do you think should be the center back partnership? Because I mean, it looks like Otamendi is pretty undroppable.
Listen, Otamendi, he's been shutting me up recently, but he's obviously not been proven in the past couple of years. He got shipped off to the Portuguese league for reasons. Obviously, he's been pretty fraudulent in the Pep Guardiola system when he was playing there in the last couple of years.
Respect Otamendi under Pep. He had a very good couple seasons. He's starting to fall off. Yeah, he got his move to Benfica, and I think he hasn't been great over the last couple of years, but he seems to be in favor for Argentina. I mean, obviously, if we're going based off names, it looks like the best partnership is Cristiano Romero and Lisandro Martinez.
Listen, I probably would pick Romero and Martinez, but we haven't seen that pairing this whole World Cup. I mean, we saw Romero get subbed off against Saudi Arabia. He started the first game and it didn't work out. Lisandro, of course, I think he's been the pillar of that team as of now. I mean, he didn't start against Saudi Arabia, but he's been playing ever since. And I personally think Romero and Lisandro have to be starting from now on. We've seen it in Mexico. They were struggling big time, especially in the first half. Something's got to change for sure.
I mean, they weren't struggling defensively, though. They were struggling to score a goal, right?
You can say that they were struggling to score a goal, but Mexico in that first half, I thought they looked like the better team without a doubt. It's up to the center back pairing as well, to have that baseline structure in order for Argentina to be able to play their free-flowing football. So I think that's got to be the first thing they got to do to change.
The second thing that Argentina need to change to win this World Cup, I think, is the striker. I think Lautaro Martinez, he's quality. He's obviously young, and he's a great goal scorer. But when it comes to how Argentina play, Messi is obviously the focal point, and he needs a striker that he can link up with. And I don't think Lautaro can link up as well as maybe like a Julian Alvarez can.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. This season at Inter Milan, obviously Inter Milan isn't doing as well as they did in the previous seasons, of course. But Lautaro Martinez has not looked the same. And as well as he's always used to having another striker with him in that formation that he uses with Inter. So him being that sole striker, playing again with Messi, it just hasn't been linking up correctly for him. I mean, he's been missing a couple of great chances as well, but the link-up play has just been very dry. I mean, there's a reason why Julian Alvarez is playing in the Premier League. He's got that big move. Why don't we see him start?
And it's not just him playing in the Prem. He's playing for Pep Guardiola. He obviously has that quality to link up play. That's a big part of his game. Ever since the times that he's come on, the cameo that he made against Mexico, very impressive. He needs to be the starting striker to go forward for Argentina.
Not only Julian Alvarez, I mean, they have Angel Correa. He's been one of Atletico's saving graces in the past 2 seasons, let alone this season. I mean, he can play anywhere on that top side, even striker. He's got that hold-up ability. He plays with Rodrigo de Paul at Atletico. He already has that connection. He's been pretty much a veteran so far in this Argentine national team. It's not like he's brand new to the system like Julian is. So, I mean, I don't know why they don't test him out as a striker. It's so clear that Lautaro isn't working. And like I said, when they're going to come up against bigger, stronger, smarter opponents, they got to be used to having a striker that is able to link up play with Lionel Messi, with Di Maria. That's 100% one of the points that Argentina need to change in order to win this World Cup. Before we move on to our third point, I mean, I got to take a moment to talk about how Argentina is just playing as a whole. I mean, it looks like they're being very lackluster in their chances. We saw in Saudi Arabia just wanted it way more in that second half. They were running way more. They were running all over the place. It looked like Argentina couldn't even string together a couple passes. I mean, that could just all come down to, old age. We've got Di Maria, who's kind of in his last legs of his career. Of course, Lionel Messi, we've got rumors of him coming to the MLS, Inter Miami next season. He's obviously doesn't run as much as he used to be. Otamendi in the back, we've mentioned him already. Acuna, their left back, he's been there for time. I mean, they've got such an old team that I think they don't have the legs to keep up with players like we can talk about the France national team where we've got youngsters like Chouameni, Mbappe's rapid speed.
I mean, and that's a smooth transition to our third point, because I think we both agree that Argentina needs to incorporate more of the youngsters into the starting 11. Players like, as we discussed, Julian Alvarez, who's been sitting on the bench, who looks good every time he comes on. We got Enzo Fernandez, who scored the second goal in the game to seal the win against Mexico, and he's a young talent. Looks very good. I mean, the goal is quality. I haven't seen him play much football outside the World Cup so far, but he looks good.
Yeah, you brought up Enzo Fernandez. I mean, he came into I think Porto or Benfica, one or the other, at an extremely young age, and he starts for them now. He got Player of the Month straight away once he came in. We can see his quality already. That goal was absolutely world class, top 3 in the World Cup so far. And I mean, you mentioned a couple of names, but we haven't talked about Alejandro Garnacho. He's one of those players that Argentina probably needs. We already seen Garnacho, clutch up for Manchester United in the dying embers of the game. Why not bring him on for Argentina? We already talked about how old their team is.
What do you mean bring him? He's not a part of the squad. We're talking about the World Cup squad. He's not there. Like, screw Garnacho. Like, he's irrelevant right now. He's irrelevant. I mean, we got players like, if you want to talk about young players in the Prem, we got McAllister, who's actually been playing minutes. There's one good thing that the Argentinian manager has been doing when it comes to youngsters in the team. But I think, like I said, they just need to incorporate more of those legs into the team to create more of a spark.
We've seen it already. They're in trouble. Like, they're do or die so far. No one expected the outcomes to be happening. So they have to change something in order for them to move on to the round of 16.
And there you guys have it. Those are 3 things that we think Argentina need to change in order to win the World Cup. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment what you think Argentina needs to do to win this World Cup. Peace.